From Teslas to Starlink, Musk's influence over the last decade has been undeniable. His businesses have changed our relationship with social media, space travel, and even our cars. But what if the most talked about tech billionaire became the leader of the free world? Would the country run on solar panels and Starlink? Would Mars become the 51st state? Well, you came to the right place. Stick around. We're unpacking the wild, the possible, and the totally chaotic. Number 1. Tech takes over government. Under President Musk, the DMV is now an app. Forget about waiting in lines, filing paperwork, or getting a human to process your stuff, because now a bot will handle everything. And thanks to artificial intelligence, it'll be able to answer any question you throw at it. In fact, it'll probably have AI chat built in, so you can just go ahead and open a support ticket. One downside, though, is that instead of getting an actual person on the phone, you might just end up talking to an automated system. Still, it'll be super efficient, and once they take a look at your license, they tell you exactly which parking spot you're allowed to park in based on your driving record. And that's not the only way technology would make everyday life easier. Thanks to Musk's takeover of the federal government, we could see some major changes across the board. Take Congress, for example. The lower chamber currently uses a system called House.gov to share information among members. But with Musk at the helm, we might see it rebranded as XCOM, replacing its clunky website with the sleek design of X, formerly Twitter. Sure, this change might seem trivial, but when you consider the fact that Congress is responsible for passing laws that affect millions of Americans, it makes sense that we should be able to follow their debates easily. Plus, imagine how much more engaging those debates would become if every representative had to tweet their arguments. Of course, not everyone uses Twitter, but who cares? Musk would just launch Starlink satellites to beam internet access to every American. After all, if people are going to be glued to their phones tweeting about politics, they need a way to connect to the internet. And once X, formerly Twitter, takes over, the government will be more transparent than ever before. We'll be able to see exactly what politicians are tweeting about each other and gain insight into their decision-making processes. Meetings will be held in the metaverse with everyone wearing VR headsets and interacting with each other through avatars. Sure, it might be weird at first, but eventually it'll become the norm, and who knows? Maybe one day we'll even be able to vote in the metaverse. Just imagine walking into a virtual polling place, casting your ballot, and then chilling in a virtual bar to watch the results come in. It'd be so futuristic. No. 2. Green energy becomes mandatory. In addition to making big changes in the tech sector, Musk would also focus on making America greener. His first order as president would be to convert all federal buildings to run on solar power. While this wouldn't have a huge impact on carbon emissions, it would send a message to the rest of the country that renewable energy is the future. Next, he'd tackle gas cars. In California, gas cars would be phased out by 2030, and by 2035, no new gas cars would be sold anywhere in the country. Instead, there'd be a massive push to buy electric cars, which would be heavily subsidized by the government. To make things easier for drivers, Musk would set up charging stations all over the country and require every new building to have a charging port. People without cars could just take the public transit, which would also be powered by electricity. So if you were living in New York City, you could take the subway to work without having to worry about it polluting the air. Of course, this wouldn't be all sunshine and rainbows. There would definitely be growing pains along the way. For example, people would have to get used to charging their cars instead of just filling them up with gas. And the grid would need to be upgraded to handle the increased demand for electricity. Plus, there would be a lot of pushback from the oil and gas industry. But ultimately, it would be worth it to create a cleaner, more sustainable future for the country. No. 3. Space policy goes galactic. When it comes to space policy, Musk would take a different approach than previous administrations. First on the agenda would be merging NASA and SpaceX. This would allow the two organizations to pool resources and expertise to accomplish more than they could separately. Musk would use his knowledge of business and technology to help NASA become more efficient and cost-effective. At the same time, NASA's scientific and engineering expertise would help SpaceX develop more advanced spacecraft and technologies. This merger would be a win-win for both parties and would help to put the U.S. back on the cutting edge of space exploration. Next, Musk would turn his attention to the moon. He'd defund a new moon base and make it a priority to establish a permanent human presence there. This would be a great opportunity to test new technologies and to learn more about the moon and the solar system. Additionally, Musk would also focus on developing new technologies that would make it easier and cheaper to travel to and land on Mars. The goal would be to establish a self-sustaining colony on Mars as quickly as possible. With Musk's leadership, it's likely that these goals would be accomplished sooner than they would have been under any other administration, in addition to his plans for the moon and Mars. Musk would also make it a priority to protect Earth. He'd defund research into ways to prevent asteroids from hitting the planet, and would develop a plan to build a giant spaceship that could move people and resources from other planets to Earth. This would ensure that Earth would always remain a safe haven for humanity. Overall, Musk's space policy would be ambitious and forward-thinking. He would make it a priority to push the boundaries of human exploration and would invest in new technologies that would make it easier and cheaper to travel to other planets. No, for free speech gets a rethink. Elon Musk is known for his outspoken nature, and he's not afraid to share his opinions on just about anything. From politics to science to technology, Musk's tweets have the power to make headlines and move markets. However, his approach to free speech isn't always seen as positive. Some argue that his tweets are often irresponsible, and that he uses his platform to spread misinformation or to attack individuals or groups. Others argue that Musk's tweets violate the terms of service of the platforms he uses, such as Twitter, and that these platforms should be held accountable for allowing him to post whatever he wants without consequence. Despite the controversy surrounding his views on free speech, there's no denying that Musk is a prominent figure in the debate. His actions have sparked important conversations about the role of social media platforms in moderating speech and protecting democracy. Love him or hate him, Musk is a polarizing figure whose views on free speech are sure to continue sparking debate. As president, Musk's stance on free speech could have far-reaching implications for the country as a whole. He might try to loosen regulations on social media platforms, which could lead to an increase in online harassment and hate speech. Or he might crack down on big tech companies, which could have a negative impact on innovation and economic growth. Whatever Musk's policies may be, one thing is certain: his presidency would be marked by controversy. So what's the verdict? Good. While the idea of Musk as president might seem like a joke, it actually raises some interesting questions about the role of technology in society and the future of American politics. What are the potential benefits and drawbacks of having a tech billionaire in the White House? How could Musk's policies shape the country's approach to issues like climate change, healthcare, and education? And how would Musk's presidency compare to that of other tech-savvy leaders around the world? Ultimately, Musk's presidency would be a unique and unpredictable chapter in American history. Whether it's for better or worse would depend on a variety of factors, including the policies he implements, the opposition he faces, and the unexpected challenges that are sure to arise. One thing is certain, though: it would never be boring. But in the end, we can hope that whatever decisions Musk would make, they would prioritize the needs of the people and the future of the country. And maybe, just maybe, he would find a way to make American politics a little less divisive and a little more innovative. After all, the country's future is too important to leave up to politicians alone. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think? Would you vote for Elon Musk if he were to run for president? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Speaking of thought-provoking, check out this video on screen now, and see you next time.